This year says Nissan. Quick question. I think he means for Sam, but he
Big up. Then realize I'm the owner of one of the biggest companies in the world, man. But I'm still
man
here.
Like
Big up, man.
Man like Nissan, you know. Where's your DM at? Because with that team you currently have, you're not anywhere near a title challenger, even top four. Talking about Liverpool there.
Big up Dan Watson. Big up for the super chat. Big up for being Captain Obvious as well. Obviously, we're gonna get a DM, Dan, because if we sell Fabinho, we ain't gonna go into the season without the DM. I'm sure Terry's probably gonna ask me about it in the Liverpool section. So stick around. There's a lot to talk about.
Let's go into it now. It's a beautiful segue.
Big up Nissan. You know, here's the thing. I think Liverpool Football Club can buy a DM that, you know, has experience and replace Fabinho straight away. Or we can go down the Tom Little route, which is sign 2 kids, which I don't know if the club might want to do. Now, the problem is, the issue is, and Terry knows this, when the world knows that you need a position, suddenly the prices are bumped up. Check Decore ain't worth no damn 70 million pounds. He ain't worth no 60 million. He ain't worth no 50 million. He ain't worth 40. He's worth 35, 30 at best, at max. So I don't know what the hell they're smoking over there at Crystal Palace. I know there's a Crystal Palace fan who comes on the terrace as well. Big up D. But it's just like that football club are insane. 70 million, my ass. And you know what I don't get about Crystal Palace? Sorry, let me attack Crystal Palace just for a second here. Crystal Palace have finished in the bottom half and they value every single one of their players at like fucking 70 million or something. Like, it just makes no sense. How the hell are you bottom half if you've got 11 70 million worth players? It's just insane. Look, Lavia's not done yet. I think we're just waiting on the money to go from, you know, the Fabinho transfer. Obviously, it's going to get done soon. We've heard from Saudi journalists it's done. Personally, because I am not a robot, like some Arsenal fans and United fans who just agree with everything the club does, I disagree with a lot of my club does, which is why my fan base fights me. I didn't want to sell Fabinho. I wanted to keep Fabinho and buy Lavia because I wanted experience in that team. Now, some people use experience as a buzzword. I think Fabinho is not just experienced. He still has a lot to offer on the football pitch. But because, you know, Liverpool Football Club are owned by Fenway Sports Group, they don't care. They're here talking about, from a business perspective, we bought Fabinho for 35 million, used him for 7 years, and are about to sell him for 40. So we're never going to get that money for Fabinho again. So let's just sell him. So I disagree with us selling Fabinho. I would have kept him 100%. And look, it depends now what we do this summer transfer window. I'm not delusional. My answer to Terry has always been, I believe we'll be in the title race. But where we go in the title race depends on the transfer window. If we come up here and we do some bullshit in this last month and a little bit left in this transfer window, and we mess around, you know, Anthony, you know, you're probably one of them Arsenal fans. I can't lie. The Arsenal fans, I've got them on strings on this channel because they think I hate them for some reason, but I don't. I love you guys, man. Big up my cousin from London. So my thing is, it really depends what we do this summer. The Levi Colwill thing is probably dead now that Fofana's injured. I don't think there's a world in which they sell him. I know Colwill will become a Liverpool player tomorrow. He would happily leave that cesspit tomorrow if given the opportunity. But they are being way too unrealistic.
You really believe that he would walk away from Chelsea for Liverpool like instantly?
Of course. Once again, I apply the same logic. More recent success, Liverpool Football Club. Better manager, Liverpool Football Club. Better players, Liverpool Football Club. The issue is Chelsea want too much money and we won't pay that money. I don't live in utopia. I don't live in a fantasy world. I'm not playing some PS5 game. I'm in reality. Reality states Liverpool are not going to buy a defender for 90 million who's still unproven. So I don't think we're going to sign Colwill. So look, regarding the DM, I think Lavia is probably going to end up at Liverpool Football Club. I don't know what happens with the centre back. I hope we sign one because, you know, even in that friendly against Karlsruhe, man, I watched Gomez and Matip and I'm like, these two, man, honestly, dumb and dumber. They're never gonna ever become players at this point. They're just so atrocious, man. So atrocious. We cannot have them both playing, so we need the centre back. So for me, we're 2 or 3 missing pieces away from challenging, but I do see us challenging 100%. 100%.
Yeah, look, you've had a good start. I think Callus and Slobosai are good deals. It's just 3 weeks until the Prem starts, and I'm intrigued to see what Liverpool do because I think if you don't bring in another defender, and a good enough D. And again, if you bring Lavia in, I think your midfield is set for 2 or 3 years time. You're not winning the Premier League with a midfield of Szoboszlai, Lavia, and McAllister because there's a lack of experience. And I actually agree with you. I think with Henderson and Fabinho leaving, you need to be looking at a more experienced player. Now, someone that was linked to you, and I haven't looked at this guy's injury record for a while. You've been linked to Verratti. Now, from an age and a profile point of view, kind of makes sense. The problem is with Verratti, people have been telling me that he's just injury prone as hell. What even is his age now? What is he? 30 something? He's 30 years old. Yeah, like as a player, ability wise, experience, I think would be really good. But if his injury record's bad, you can't be doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't be bringing in somebody who's got those problems. But do you feel like you need a more experienced DM to come in if Fabinho's going? Who would be your pick? Because Lavi is a kid. He's got 1 year experience. That man can't listen. I'm not saying he's better than Bajcetic, but you wouldn't give it to Bajcetic. So why would you give that lead role at that age to Lavia? Like that just feels like a recipe for disaster. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And that's exactly why I said I don't want 5 kids. I want a DM of age, a DM of experience. Amrabat is who I want. Or Edson Alvarez. Or Palhinha as examples. Please understand, I'm not saying these 3 specifically. I'm saying of that age group. I need a 26, 27, 28-year-old. I don't need a kid. I don't need some 21-year-old coming in here doing all this. Like, I need an actual player of age, a player who has experience on his hand. I just cannot do this whole young and inexperienced crap again. With Verratti, like, I'm going to just say this. We have already a better version of Verratti, which is Thiago. They're both injury prone. They're both, the fuck Bruno brigade type people would absolutely love them because they're ballers. So with these two, we've got Thiago, who's absolutely, like, I think he's better than Verratti now. They're both injury prone. There's just no point. There's just no point, of signing Verratti. There's just absolutely 0 point of signing Verratti. So if Kimmich is available, I wouldn't mind him as well.
Yeah, but again, you're not getting Kimmich because you're not going to spend that kind. The problem. Do you think the worry that you won't? The problem is when you mentioned some of these players, like Amrabat's available for 25 million. Like that for me is like a no-brainer. And as a Man United fan, although we had a better season than you last year, if you come in for Amrabat, I'm worried because you've got a chance of getting him over us. The problem is with some of those other names, though, like how much, like a Kimmich's going to cost you 80, 90 million pounds plus. Like that's how much he's going to cost. And it's whether you guys are willing to kind of spend it. But that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping you guys do go for Lavia. And I'm hoping you don't bring in the centre back because then, again, I think you'll be a much better team next year, but you ain't winning the league. You ain't winning the league if you don't improve those areas. It's impossible. If you don't improve your back line, it's impossible. It's impossible for you to. Because I honestly, I think like Matip, Gomez not good enough. Konate, sorry, he's good, but again, I've got question marks over him. And I think Van Dijk is now Van Disney. I think he's past his best. I think he's over the hill, and I think he's only going to get worse. He's still of a very good level, but that's just going to keep declining, and you need to bring somebody else in. And I'm not sure yet. Konate, very good. He's got mistakes in him. He's got that clumsiness about him at times, and that needs to improve this year. But if he doesn't improve and Van Dijk continues to sort of regress, you're going to concede too many. And that was your biggest issue last year. It really wasn't.
How many of you actually put the Van Disney line? Like you actually said that. You actually called Virgil van Dijk Van Disney. And 80% Virgil van Dijk is better than 90% of the defenders in this league. 80% of Virgil. Like,
mate,
that's
I'm not disagreeing. Again, that's a fair statement. However, you're not going to win the league with that. And
we can. 100%.
You cannot win the league.
I'm really not worried.
But you can't win the league if you don't sign another defender.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with Virgil. Virgil's starting anyway.
Yeah, but I think it does have something to do with Virgil because he isn't the powerhouse he was. If he was as good as he was 3 years ago, you'd be okay without buying a new centre back.
No, I wouldn't, because Gomez and Matip and Konate are injury prone. All 3 are injury prone.
Dodgy at the back, and he's only going to get worse. And your biggest issue last year wasn't scoring goals; it was conceding them. You guys were so, even in your run of games where you started catching up on the top 4, when you go back and watch it, it was skin of your teeth stuff. It reminded me of early Liverpool under Klopp, where it was almost, we'll just try and outscore you, and you were winning 2-1s, 3-2s, narrow games. You got to improve on that. Like, if you concede too many goals, that's where you struggle, especially when it comes to title races. So look, I think you guys might pull something out the bag, but you know what FSG are like? I'm hoping FSG go full-time FSG and buy a kid and go, it's for the future. And because again, if you just buy Lavia, I think Lavia is great. But yeah, it'll be peak for your title hopes.
This is exactly why we fly planes, Terry. This is exactly why we fund.
I hear you. And do you know what I like about the idea of you guys what I like about Liverpool not being able to win the title, because of the standards you've set, I can run with my narrative, which is even if you come second, it's a failure. Like that's that Liverpool have set that such a high standard where just coming second is failure. So it's nice to be able to say Liverpool failed, but yeah, you'll be a much improved team next year. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Let's look at some of these super chats here. First one says, next season, in my opinion, this is going to be a fatal 4-way title challenge, just like WWE Fatal 4-Way. Oh, I haven't Fatal 4-Ways. That sounds like a different kind of TV show. Terry, you're hoping improvement by 15 points. Yeah, up to 15 points, definitely. Hassam is the Arabian. I thought you said Albanian. Arabian gal, same logic.
Marcy, don't ever disrespect my legacy like that by calling me a gal. I slap the shit out of you say that again.
Would you, if you had this option, it's super chat, this is an option for you. Keep Van Dijk or sign Saliba, what would you do?
I'm keeping Van Dijk 100%. Saliba's not that guy yet. 1 year doesn't change shit, Terry. Like, would I take Saka over Salah because he was better last year? No, I'm keeping the same energy for them all.
Okay, so I agree with you. Van Dijk's better than him right now. But if I had the choice right now which one to sign, I'd sign Saliba and I'd sign Saka purely on age because of the longevity within it. Like they're the two I'd pick.
Yeah, but you understand, I'm trying to win next season's league title.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
And with all respect to Arsenal, let me just say this quickly. Who made you think you're that guy to compare your players to our players? We started comparing, and even Terry will tell you this, because we got accused of being an obnoxious fan base, and City, you better say football because Liverpool Football Club fans are so blah, blah, blah. The only time we actually started putting our players in conversations is after we won the champs, after we won the Prem. You've won fuck all, and you're already talking to me about Saliba and Van Dijk. Are you mad? Are you actually crazy? And also, please don't think that if I had the money and Klopp called Arsenal tomorrow, Saliba would be a Liverpool player. Like, don't think you're like, oh my God, no, I want to play at Arsenal. Like, you're just, it's not that yet. Like, it's just, I could take Martinelli, I could take any of your players if I wanted to, if I had the money. I just don't have the money. And so that's the problem. But I could steal any of your players and make them stars at my football club and actually win something.
Do you think if Liverpool today rocked up to Arsenal, put £150 million down, got the bid accepted for Saka, do you think he would leave Arsenal to play for Liverpool?
Of course. Of course. But with Saka, he's going to be a really expensive left back, though. That's the problem. So I like, because he doesn't start over Salah, definitely. So I don't know, maybe he starts left wing. That's a position maybe he could start in. Maybe he could play left back for us. But Saka isn't the guy I'd be looking at. If I were to go to sign someone from Arsenal, I would probably sign Saliba. Maybe I'd sign, a midfielder. Smith Rowe is a talent, I think. I could get Martinelli. Martinelli is more the Liverpool type. Like, he's just a beast in the penalty box. So I think he would absolutely dominate for us. I think, look, with Arsenal, I could take your superstars now, anytime I wanted, but I just don't have the money. My problem is money. My problem is not pull. My problem is not none of that stuff. Because my thing is with Arsenal is like, you guys keep acting like you've already accomplished step one. You've not accomplished step one. You've not won anything. Win something significant, come back to me, and I'll give you all the respect you want in the world. This is not banter, this is a reality. Until you win something, that's when you can start saying Saliba, Van Dijk. Right now, you haven't won anything. So, like, it's just these players have just had a really good season but accomplished nothing. So based on what can I sit up here and go like, oh my God, would you take Saliba over Van Dijk? Fuck no, I wouldn't. Fuck no, I wouldn't. Van Dijk's way better than Saliba, because I've seen Van Dijk be 2 votes away from winning a Ballon d'Or. So where's that for Saliba? That's what I thought. Hold that.